Yes. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. Champions League football tonight. Chelsea, Man United, both in action. We're here for the next 50 minutes or so in the build-up to the Chelsea game. Want to speak to some Chelsea fans about how they're thinking, how they're feeling ahead of this match tonight. Also want to hear from some Man United fans. Big game for yourselves this evening. Hope you're all doing very, very well. Make sure you're hitting that like button for us right about now, please, ladies and gentlemen. Really need your support with that. And give me your thoughts and feelings ahead of tonight's games. We're going to go to the live comments. We're going to open up the Skype lines. We want you to come on. We want you to get yourselves involved. Igal song. I can't do the Igal song on here. We're not using StreamYard for that. We're going directly through YouTube, so it's a little bit different, but we'll get that uploaded onto this platform soon. We're kind of switching. We're going to be a whole new platform, there's going to be a lot of changes very, very soon. Production levels going up, quality levels going up. So just bear with us while we make that move. There we go. Jota is Werner's daddy. That's a great name for a member here. Says liking the new setup. Thank you very much. These are our Champions League colors. We've gone for the purple, the kind of sky blue, and the navy blue together. Of course, we use red as standard. We're going to use yellow, of course, for the transfer stuff that we do. So we've got some new stuff along the way. But I want your thoughts and feelings. Get your super chats in as well. Actually, one thing I do want to check, see if it's working. We should have the chat thing up alongside, but I want to make sure it's actually working when I do this. I don't know how this is going to look. Oh, actually, I'm not a fan. I want to change the color of that. I didn't know what it was going to look like until I put it up on the screen next to me. And now that it's up, I'm not a fan. If you go purple, I'm not a fan of that. Yellow's too bright. If you go to gray, I don't know. Can't really see it either. The writing's a little bit too light. What color are we all saying here? Should we go for purple? Your live comments. Red. No, I'm not really liking the red. Orange. Good orange work. No, that looks janky, bruv. That looks janky. We'll make the writing a bit bigger as well. Maybe I need to make the box a little bit bigger. But there we go. I've got a little chat box there for you. Tell me what color you think. Black. You reckon black? Okay, we'll go with black for now. And we'll go with that there. So get your chats in. We have a super chat here, actually, that's come all the way in from Strip there. He says, the mighty Chelsea will win. I have no doubt. 3-1. I'm risking so much banter. That is from Stripberry. Thinks they're going to win. Listen, I think Chelsea are going to win. I don't think there's any concern that Chelsea are going to win tonight. They're the bigger team. They're the superior team. They're playing Rennes, for God's sakes. There should be absolutely no problems whatsoever. Chelsea's lineup is, of course, in. And it's as you would. It's a pretty strong team, Werner on the left, Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Tammy starts through the middle. Jorginho is backing the starting lineup as well. Mount and Kovacic both start either side of him. Chilwell, Silva, Zuma, Aspi, and Mendy in goal. Going for the strongest team possible, which I think is sensible. But going for the strongest team possible tonight, Chelsea. Lampard taking absolutely no risks whatsoever. I think it's a pretty fair lineup. I don't know if anybody was expecting something different. Maybe. I don't think anybody would be, but that's just my view. I don't think anybody's going to be expecting anything different in terms of that lineup. Is anybody nervous tonight? Any Chelsea fans actually nervous about this game? Think they might lose this match? Any concerns? Or is this just simply a formality? A fairly simplistic, fairly easy game that you're going to be able to breeze yourself through as an example. What's weird about this chat box? You can go for it, but it doesn't show you the super chats, which is very weird. I don't know why it doesn't show super chats in it. It shows normal chat, but not super chat. I'm just going back through it here. Lots of chat here. But there we go. Just seeing if it did. Doesn't seem to. But yeah, there we go. Let's do some more of your comments here. Mustafa, bro, I'm a Chelsea. Okay, you guys are chatting to each other. Werner couldn't score. I'm not going to say that word out loud, but okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much there, Jota. You guys are on it. Are Liverpool fans still that bitter? Are Liverpool fans really still that bitter because they lost man like out on man like Werner? Come on, man. Ites here says Donny is a 1-2 merchant. I don't know why people are going crazy for him to play. Eye test trying to be controversial tonight. Listen, bro, you want to come on and say why he's a why he's that? I forgot what you called him, a 1-2 merchant. Come on the show and let us know. But want to know what you're thinking, want to know what you're feeling in relation to everything else that's going on tonight. Make sure you're smashing that like button, people. That's very important to the Football Terrace that you get that done. Also, make sure you're following us on socials. You see there, go follow us there on Facebook. Go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on Twitter as well. All the links for that are inside the description below. Skype is open, so if you want to give us a call, if you want to come on, if you want to have your say, feel free to give us a little buzz, give us a little tinkle. We want to hear from you. But you're right. The comment here says Van der Beek must play tonight. He absolutely must. And I want your thoughts on Bruno Fernandes. Goes into another Champions League game. Arguably the most maligned player in football at the moment. I can't really understand for the life of me where the annoyance and frustration comes from. I don't really get it. But that's just me. First caller of the night, we've got Axel on the line. Axel, welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say?
I want to say this is not... I really like the show, Terry.
Thank you, brother.
And I want to say this is not Chelsea's first team, so you know.
I mean, it's pretty close to your first team, isn't it?
Yes, it's close, but there's no Kante. We all know if the other team goes for it, Jorginho will blow it.
Oh, come on. Are you getting excuses in already? If you have a bad night, you're just going to blame Jorginho? Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
We all know when the defensive work, the Jorginho is the weak link, you know?
Okay, but you should be...
But I still think we will get the win.
Axel,
like
Axel, back your team, mate. You're playing Rennes. Brother, you're playing Rennes. You're playing a team that are named after an indigestion suite, bruv. You're playing Rennie Rapides, bruv. You shouldn't have any problem tonight. Team like Rennie. Axel, thank you for calling the show, my friend. Next up, we're going to have Yusuf on the line. Yusuf, welcome back. What do you want to say, brother?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say good luck to all the Premier League teams. It's always nice to see Prem teams in the Champions League.
What?
Also to the other fans, the Barcelona and Real Madrid fans. Good luck today and tomorrow. And
hang on, Yusuf. Who do you support, brother?
I support United, but it's good to see other teams in the Champions League.
No, it's not. Hello, you.
If they're out of the Champions League, it's easier for them in the league, Terry. You won't have to play an extra game a week.
Sorry about it. My daughter just come home from school. You been to school?
No, not say.
You been to nursery?
Yeah.
You can say hello to everybody. Say hi.
Hi.
What does Daddy do in his office?
Working again.
What do I do? Don't touch that bit. What do I do? On my what? On my computer?
Yeah.
On my computer. There we go. Do you have a nice day today? Don't grab that bit. You'll break it. Do you have a nice day today? Do you have a nice day?
Come me.
I can't come. I'm working, baby. I'll come play with you soon, okay? You have a kiss? No, on the lippies. Mwah. Right, you go out there and I'll speak to you in a minute. Right, love you. Excuse me. I said love you. Oh, good. Well done. There we go. No, she's not an Arsenal fan. Don't give me any of that. Giving me any of that. Right. Ask her if she's Ollie out. She's not Ollie out. God, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry, Yusuf. Let me just get back to what we were saying here. You cannot be supportive of any other team but your own, sir.
Look, I'm going to give you my point because I've seen this with Liverpool. Last year, because they weren't in the Champions League, the league was much easier for them. If you're in the Champions League and you stay in the Champions League, you have an extra competitive game a week. And that helps us as United fans. You don't want Chelsea to just be waiting all week for a Premier League game. So you can rest the players.
But I don't wish him luck. Come on, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I don't want, let me just say this now. Every single English team in the Champions League, I want them to crash and burn, to be humiliated, to be a laughing stock, to be embarrassed. That is what I want to happen to every single rival fan every single rival club to Manchester United crash and burn and disappear and go bankrupt and never play football again, get in the mud. That's how I think.
I get what you're saying. I feel the same way in the league, but not in the Champions League. The Champions League, like, unless we're playing against them, it wouldn't affect us. You get my point?
I still like laughing at them, bruv. I still like laughing. I still like I can't suddenly. I can't go from disliking them at the weekend to say, "Oh, go on, yeah, go on, Jorginho, play well." Listen, I want Jorginho to have a stinker tonight. You know, I want Ben Chilwell to have a stinker. I want Mendy to flap at the ball and to fly in the back of the net. On Man United, though, quickly, Donny van der Beek, should he be playing?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. No doubt about it.
Do you think he will?
I don't think he will.
Why? Why not? Why do you think Ollie's going to keep him in the mud?
I get the impression Ollie doesn't want to risk his job yet. I think Bruno, if he doesn't play Bruno and we lose, Ollie's the pressure is going to be real. And I don't think Ollie's that safe as people think he is. I think the club, as we talked about this earlier, they're still talking to Poch. That's 100%. I don't think they've ever not talked to Poch. So it's going to be tough for him to give Donny a full game where it really matters.
I don't know, you know. I mean, I think maybe you could be right. You could be right. I tonight, you know, the thing winning tonight's really important because it means that Man United can go, and this is why I think you're going to see a strong team from Man United tonight. But I would like Donny. My daughter's really loosen this up. She squeezed it too hard. There we go. I would really like to see Donny given an opportunity. One, I think we need a bit of rotation because Man United's games upon the horizon are very, very difficult indeed. I was just looking there. We have tonight's match, which is difficult, and then we play Southampton, and then we play Paris Saint-Germain, then West Ham, then Leipzig, then City. Man United's running is very difficult, very hard, and very, very tough indeed in the coming weeks. And I'm genuinely concerned by it, if that makes sense. And tonight, winning it's important, but rotation is key. And tonight's a proper managerial job. Tonight isn't about coaching as such. It's about the manager getting the balance of rotation and understanding that getting 3 points tonight puts us on 9 points. 10 will typically get you qualified through your group. Winning tonight almost guarantees Man United a way through, meaning there's slightly less pressure. Collapse tonight, lose tonight against Istanbul, and after that great start, you could end up going out. And that's the fear tonight. So I do get where you're coming from. I really do. And I am concerned for that myself. That it isn't so much the Donny thing. I'm concerned about losing tonight. So I don't think there'll be a massive rotation. But I do think Donny and Bruno can play together.
I get that. But the thing is, who will play at right wing? One of them's got to play right wing. I don't think Ollie's going to not play with two CDMs. We played with Matic last time, and we got destroyed on the counter-attack.
Yeah, but I don't think it was because there's one element where Mata got dispossessed, but this is about Man United being balanced. That was Hackney Marsh's schoolboy defending. The first goal was something I haven't even seen at schoolboy level, where, by the way, both centre-backs should have been up. It was a corner, but both full-backs went forward, and Matic was pretty much 25, 30 yards out of position. If we're positioned right, that goal doesn't happen. The second one, can happen at any time. Like Mata did get caught on the ball. That doesn't happen too often. But I'm not too concerned by that. Play with three at the back and go with wing backs and then play them through the middle. There's ways around this where we can play Bruno. We need our match winners. But I think Donny van der Beek needs to play. Yusuf, thank you very much as ever for coming on the show, my friend. Thank you. Another caller coming on now. Don't know the name of this person because they're just a bunch of numbers as their username. Welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say? Oh, I did answer it, but sometimes it does that. You answer. Oh, it's because you've got bad connection. Next caller, what do you want to say?
Hello? I just want to speak on the Van der Beek situation at United.
Go for it.
I think if he doesn't basically play this game, I can't really into the team again.
Yeah, I do. Hang on a minute. There seems to be two people on this call at the same time. It's very weird when Skype does this. I don't know why. Go on, keep speaking, mate.
So I can't really see him playing against the likes of, these lower teams. So I think until Pogba leaves, I can't see Van der Beek really getting into the team. I think he's gonna struggle to get into the team, and I personally don't think he was first choice or even a second choice by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Again, this shows the incompetence by the board.
Well, I was about to ask you that question. A lot of people are saying that it's clear that Donny isn't Ole's player. So why are they? Does that make you angry with Ole or with the board? I mean, you pretty much just answered it. But do you understand why people get angry with Ole for not playing a player that he didn't want?
I sort of understand that, but at the same time, I think you've got to make use of the players that you have. Like, I don't understand why you play Mata ahead of Van der Beek when I think Van der Beek, if you try him, I think he can play that right wing position or like that centre attacking midfielder who sort of cuts inside all the time. So I get why he plays Mata because of his work rate and attribute, but I think it's worth giving Donny van der Beek a chance at least.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I want him to do that. There are a few people saying that Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay, and I'm just seeing it here confirmed. Actually, it was confirmed 3 hours ago. I hadn't read this news. Scott McTominay and Paul Pogba, neither are with the matchday squad. So that's going to be a real interesting one. Thank you very much for your call. Everyone tuning in, make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're hitting the share button as well. And when the stream finishes, come back and give us and leave a comment in the section below. It's important. But tonight's matchday squad currently at the Lowry Hotel is Henderson, David De Gea, Henderson and Grant, and then Wan-Bissaka, Fosu-Mensah, Maguire, Mengi, Tuanzebe, Lindelof, Telles, Williams, Van der Beek, Matic, Fred, Mata, Bruno, Palestri's with the matchday squad today, Dan James, Rashford, Greenwood is back with the matchday squad, which is brilliant. Martial, Cavani, Igalo. I don't know why Igalo was on my mind there. Next up on the show, we've got King Kai. King Kai, welcome back. What do you want to say? The show, we've got King Kai. You need to turn down your device in the background, please, brother. You need to turn down. No, he hasn't. King Kai, phone back, but without your device on in the background, please, my bro. Let's go to a different call. Oh, the other caller's all hung up now as well. King Kai's called back, so maybe it's working. King Kai, you there? King Kai's called back. King Kai, you there? He's still got his device on in the background. Man's not listening. How can you be watching my show but not listening? I find that very weird. Brittany is next. Brittany, welcome to the Football Terrace. Unmute your mic for us. What do you want to say?
Hello. Hi. Yes, I am a Chelsea fan.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just here to say, if I was Liverpool, I would be scared, but that's not the point. We're talking about Champions League today, obviously. So our Champions League squad is decent. You could see that he did some rotation. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so you could see that Frank Lampard did a lot of rotation this time. We do have Thiago Silva, who did play in the French league, so he is going to obviously tell us some tactics. Edouard Mendy, former club, he will tell us some tactics. Lampard already admitted that the tactics were told. So honestly, I have my full trust in Lampard. I'm not like, the snotty Arsenal fans who don't really believe in their coach but tries to pretend to, but that's not the point. They ran out of ammos, always trying to throw subliminals. But, Frank Lampard, he's on a roll. He's doing good stuff with our team. Our team is in the top 3. Arsenal can't even top 8. I need to stop throwing subliminals, Arsenal. But we're looking good so far. And I'm excited to see what we do.
I hear that. We've got Monstar on the line with us now as well. Monstar will also agree with you when he says pray for rivals. Monstar, yes. What you saying, bro?
Hey, big up Brittany. I think that's Brittany on the call. Big up, man. But basically, it's going to be a nice little whooping. Should be easy. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm looking at the lineup. It's good to see Hudson-Odoi starting for us. I'm a bit worried about Jorginho starting as the DM because we all know how shaky he is. But overall, I think it's a good lineup and we should be able to win. It's a strong lineup by Chelsea. We got a really good bench. So no matter who we put out there, it's always going to be a strong lineup.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed tonight is a little bit of rotation. but still very, very strong indeed. And that's what happens when you have a great transfer window as you did. I don't think there are any issue. I mean, we had a Chelsea fan phone earlier already getting excuses in saying, we might lose tonight and it would be all because of Jorginho. Why do you think that, I mean, is he that much of a problem to Chelsea, Jorginho? Are people that concerned about him dropping a stinker?
No, the problem isn't Jorginho. We all know is good at controlling the game and things like that. But defensively, so in transition, when we say we've lost the ball and teams are coming at us, you see how good Kante is, or the likes of Thomas Partey. They're really good at like breaking up play. With Jorginho, number one, he's slow. He turns like a truck, and his tackling is not the greatest. So it basically leaves us a man short defensively when we're defending. It's like he's not there.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that as a kind of reason to be concerned, as it were. But I think you'll be okay against Rennes, bruv. Like, yeah, and that's the thing of it. Brittany, what's your score prediction tonight?
I'm gonna go with a 4-1 just because I don't want to look stupid with the clean sheet thing.
I hear that. I hear you on that one. What about yourself, Monster?
I'd say 3-1.
3-1. There you go. Listen, thank you both very much for coming on, having your say. Really do appreciate it. Chat to you both again soon. Take care. I've got a little announcement from the Football Terrace. Before we do that, or a little thing, GMCFC, thank you for signing up and becoming an Academy member. That means a massive amount to us. We are going to go to member chat only very, very soon. And also to Varane Bala for becoming an Academy member as well. It honestly humbles me every time people sign up for a membership here. We've got some big stuff along the way. I'm going to go through that in a minute. Super chat here says Chilwell starting despite having injury scare last week, but James getting rested shows how little faith Frank has in Emerson and Alonso. I think there's a bit of that. I also think, buddy, that I actually think Chilwell actually needs a run of games more than anything else. Like I really, really do think that that's needed. But there we go. That's just the way it is. Sometimes those things are needed. What I wanted to speak to you all about very, very quickly is the fact that I'm just looking for something here for a minute that I need to look at. There we go. We're going to be holding kind of digital auditions very, very soon. So I've done watch-alongs for a while on and off. I'm literally the first football channel in the world, first YouTube football channel in the world to do watch-alongs. I look, and I think they're very much old hat. Most YouTubers doing the same way, one person in front of a camera, talking to everybody, chat on, etc. What we're looking to do is something very, very different, and we want to create a cast. But what we're going to do, again, is different from the other YouTube channels. We are going to make you an integral part. We are going to pay you. We are going to give you equity within the shows in which you appear in. So we're going to be giving a 20% stake in the watch-along shows away to each individual person that takes part in episodes. And we are looking for a fan or two from every single one of the top 6 clubs, and then a sprinkling of fans from the other teams. And the way that we are going to be completing watch-alongs, I won't involve myself. It will be a split screen. And let's just say it's Tottenham-Chelsea. It'll be a Chelsea fan on one side and a Tottenham fan on the other. And they will be watching the game and giving you their insight and perspective from that point of view. So it's basically going to be fan on fan, fan cam the whole way through, watching the games together. But, of course, we've got a panel of people that we're going to pick from and we've got to choose from. But I want to open that opportunity up. If you're interested, send us a DM either via Instagram or Twitter. Our Twitter and our Instagram information is in the description below, so go and check that out. Make sure you sign up to our newsletter as well. You can also do that. And essentially, we want you to send us in an audition tape. You being, you gassing about something, saying how happy you are. Maybe you ranting about something you're not unhappy with, and tell me a little bit about your football and your banter and your bias and stuff like that. So we're trying to create something a little bit different to what everybody else. I don't just want to keep doing the same shows that look like everybody else's. We were the first channel to start doing these multiple rival fan chats after games. Everyone else is copying that now. So, we'll continue with that, but we just want to look to do some different bits and pieces to kind of move on and have their say. So if you want to get involved in that, send us a DM on Twitter or at TFT Media 1 or on my personal or the TFT Media 1 Instagram come give us a chat. If you want to get yourself involved, we'll do that. And if you are involved and you're lucky enough to get through, you will be paid for every single show that you do. You'll be given a 20% stake, and that will be yours. You become an integral part of the show as well. So, we always say this, we're about giving equity. We're about you, the viewers. We want to get you all involved. And we want to sort of get you all, as I say, involved on the show, etc., 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 etc. But yes, that's essentially it. So I thought I'd announce that now. We'll let you all know. We're going to do like an official video to kind of go through that in a little bit more detail and go from there. But there we go. Itis says, Terry, did you see Atlantis football video on what's wrong with United? He called you out for your opinions changing. That's fine. Let him. I know the guy. He actually did some videos for us once upon a time. My opinions have changed. That's normal. I admit when they change, and I say why they change. Bro, your opinion changed. You come on here and 1 minute you were against the Glazers, then you were for the Glazers. You're probably against them again now. You're allowed to do it. Everyone's allowed to do it. It's as simple as that. We've got Cameron Lowe on the show next. Cameron, welcome back, buddy. What do you want to say, my friend?
I'm just chilling, man. Just chilling, getting ready for the game, having some lunch.
Oh, yes, lunch for you, isn't it? Where you are. Yeah.
So about the starting lineup for us, I'm going to say it bluntly. I don't care who we start. I just want to see Ollie manage the win. Part of the reason I think we lost that last one is Ollie wasn't brave enough in making his changes early enough. You could see it wasn't working early, and he didn't make the changes he needed to make. I don't think I just definitely am not part of this group of start Donny no matter what, because at the end of the day, Bruno had 4 chances created, I think, on the weekend at least. So he's just not. It doesn't make sense to drop him right now. Everyone's like, "Oh, he looks tired, this or that," and I personally, when I watch the guy play, he looks like a guy who just can go, and I'm sure that's what Ollie sees in training, because it's like, obviously if Ollie believed he was tired, like the one thing people have to understand, and we've all seen it. When has Ollie been afraid to drop anybody? He's dropped players all year. He dropped Pogba, who's the player he should never be dropping. He's dropped a lot of big players. So if Bruno was a problem, he'd be dropping him. So I don't want to see Bruno dropped. Like I'm seeing a lot of fans for the sake of dropping him because they want to see Donny van de Beek get a run out. I want us to win. We need to win this game. If we lose this game, we're probably out of Champions League. That's how I see it. And that's probably probably the worst case scenario if you think about it. Getting into the Champions League and then getting knocked out in the group stage is not a good look, especially after you beat PSG and RB. So that's, for me, I don't care who starts. Just get it right, Ollie. Manage the game. Take us to a win, because we have to win this game. This is the big, for me, this is bigger than any of those games coming up, because we're taking it game by game, and I can't look too far ahead in the Prem and think that, we have to beat City or XYZ. It's like right now we have a chance to get to the knockout stages for the first time in a couple of years. We have to win this game. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think for me, like I said earlier, it's getting the balance absolutely right tonight. It's very, very key, because you don't want to rest too many players and come up short and put yourself under pressure and then not have the ability to rotate. Wouldn't it be nice to win tonight? Maybe, get a draw or beat Paris Saint-Germain, and then you get the final game as a dead rubber, meaning you can actually rotate and rest with no problems whatsoever. Lose tonight, you're then under more pressure to win at the weekend, because what then happens is if you rotate tonight is, have to beat Southampton now because you've rested players, and it heps things up and it increases the kind of pressure that's out there at all times, and it is what it is. And do you know what? I just had a little look at that guy's video. Yeah, cool, brother. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's people taking what you say out of context sometimes. And listen, fan channels, we put our opinions out here, and people have the right to shoot them down. Some people think that what we do isn't good. Some people think it's a problem. Some people think, your opinions change. What I will point out is a lot of the titles of the videos we make are based on what's trending on social media or a news article, and then we give our opinions on it. So, it is what it is. I thought I'd just address that because man did put a direct comment in, but yeah, no sweat off my sack. Like none. I stand by what I say, and it is what it is. And fan channels, I get the guy. I think his channel is very, very good. They're very much an analytical channel. It doesn't really show emotion, and that's what they prefer to do, and that's absolutely fine and fair. And I think there's a space for absolutely all of it. What I'd say about fan channels as well, to be fair, is about 70-80% of it is banter, and that's the thing. I watched 2 or 3. I actually watched that guy's videos. I think they're very, very good, and I'll still watch them. There's no animosity from my point of view. Like he's not on there like being nasty about me or lying about me. Otherwise, if he was lying about me, I'd have the video taken down for defamation straight away. 2 clicks, done, out. I'll still watch these videos because I like how he speaks about football. With us, it's half of it's about banter. And then listen, I'm a host of a show. The idea is to play half the time is you've got to play devil's advocate because you want to drum up conversation, you want to drum up opinion. But if you do watch the football Terrace, you will know wholeheartedly that we always ask people to back up their opinions with something factual, whether you want Ollie in, whether you want Ollie out. And we always protect him against some of the nonsense. But it isn't for everybody. It isn't for everybody at all. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. It's as simple as straightforward as that. Thank you to Neil Thomas Dixon for signing up and becoming a squad member of the Football Terrace. Massive thank you to you. We are now about to go over to member chat only. So if you want to get yourselves involved in the comments section, it's going to be member chat only for the remainder of this stream. In terms of the Bruno stuff, I wanted to ask you, bro, about Bruno Fernandes.
Sure.
Why? Have you seen the video from earlier from Nelson?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't. I woke up and I saw the flurry in the chat, and I haven't got to it yet, but I'll get to it. This is the one where he's calling you out, I think. No.
This is Nelson who phoned the show, and he basically just said that one of the reasons he thinks the Ollie out brigade are on.
Is this the why fans hate? Why do fans hate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I've watched it twice. Nothing to do with me. Like nothing to do with me watching. Like I was on the show. I wanted to listen to what he said again. And the more I think about it, the more I think he's right. Bruno gets so much stick from United fans that predominantly the ones that dislike Ollie because he's keeping Ollie in a job. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a mix. I think that's one of it. We have a weird fan base, man. We really do. I think it's a mix. I think it's fans for some reason who haven't seen Donny do anything crazy. Let's be honest. Like, Donny's been good, but for some reason, fans are now equating, we brought in Donny, so that means we should be resting Bruno every other game or something like that. That means we should be rotating him in. So people are looking at Bruno as like a block to Donny starting as well. You can't say Pogba is anymore because Pogba's been dropped. So now everybody's like, oh, Donny needs to play, Bruno needs a rest. Like everybody's talking like they're coaches and managers. And it's hilarious to me. It's like, you guys don't know what goes on in training. And then seeing also, you're right, the Ollie out brigade, who just don't back the manager are like, well, he's just going with the same thing every time. He's not a good manager. If he was a good manager, he'd be using, and it's helping. It does help Ollie stay in a job, but that's Ollie's prerogative. If I'm Ollie, I'm sorry. I'm doing what's right for me. I don't care what the fans think. I don't care what you tell me I should start XYZ, start attacking players, put Donny on the right. You've seen it. Donny on the right wing. Like it's pretty, I don't know, it's jarring at this point. And United, like I've always said this, there's a sect of fans that no matter what happens, no matter how well things are going, they will find the one thing that they can pull on negativity from. Unless we're winning trophies and flying, there will always be a sect of fans that find something. And right now it's Bruno, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, the brute. Yeah, I mean, he is the best footballer we've signed in terms of his performances. I don't want to get into these arbitrary debates about ability. And the reason being is half the time when it comes to ability, everybody has a different opinion anyway, because it's a very subjective thing to debate. What we know is our win ratio has almost doubled. We score more goals, we concede less, we win more, obviously, because the win percentage is up. And the man has 19 goals and 13 assists in 34 games. And when you're an attacking midfield player, they are two of the most, if not the most important attributes to your game. And to have Man United fans say things like, what's improved since he's arrived? How are we any better than when Pereira and Lingard were playing instead of him? For that even to be said, it's hilarious. If it wasn't so weird, it'd be hilarious, if you get where I'm coming from. So I wanted to address it because the geezer is absolutely world class. And in his last 110 games, I think he has 105 goal contributions. His ratio is on par with Lewandowski, Ronaldo, and Messi in that time period. And man's a midfielder, bro. Like,
but nobody wants to believe that we have a player that good. This is the thing. People don't want to look at Bruno and start putting him. See those guys you just named? That's the problem with, I'm not saying that's the problem with Bruno. That's the problem with the perception of the world looking at United. Nobody wants to look at our team right now because they just want to banter us, but they don't want to look at our team and be like, wow, you guys have a world-class game changer. Like, you have somebody who is putting up numbers with that ilk that you just named off. That it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. Everybody was that's what it is. Everybody was praying for it to be a fluke last year. Oh, he came in, new player bounce. We'll see next season. Start of the season didn't start so great. You heard everybody being like, look, see, couldn't keep it up. All of a sudden he's keeping it up. And it's like, now what? Now what? It's now the argument is, well, we should be starting Van de Beek anyway. We shouldn't have to start Bruno against West Brom Albion. Shut up.
Well, this is the thing. I if you go and look again, did you know the biggest irony with these people is when Ollie mentions the past, they say get out of the past. But then you hear them say things like, oh, Ferg. But then when they want to put him down for something, they go back to the past. And I heard someone say the other day on another channel, I don't remember. I legit don't remember which channel it was. So, I just wish we could go back to Fergie's days when we were always brilliant, always winning games. You always knew we were going to win against small teams. And I'm like, hang on. So Ollie's wrong for saying I want to get us back playing like and having a culture like Fergie's days. And you say that's outdated. He needs to move forward. But yet you want us to go back to performing and winning like we did under Fergie. Again, if you can't smell the morning breath stench of hypocrisy coming from a comment like that, I don't know what's wrong with you. But at the same time, I just look at these individuals and feel like, are they ever going to be happy? I get that everybody will. Some people say, oh, Terry, you had a video the other day saying Ollie's got to go. I'm like, yeah, listen to my rationale. Half the reason I now want Ollie out, it's not about Ollie. It's not part of the Ollie out mob. It's around, I'm quite intrigued to see the next manager come in, have this board mess it up again, just to see what the reaction is going to be from fans. I've almost got myself, a friend of mine said this to me years ago, and sometimes I forget it. And it was basically a case of, like, if you're frustrated about something that you want changing, but you can't change it, the only thing you can do is change your attitude. So you want it changed, but you can't get it changed. So you have to change your attitude towards it. And that's almost my element now. I'll be frustrated if we play badly tonight, if Ollie makes the wrong substitutions and we lose. But if you go back to my rant on Saturday, the majority of what I said was, Man United, you're doing this to me. Not Ollie, you're doing this to me personally, or Rashford, your miss is doing this to me, or Pogba's inconsistency is doing this to me. I'm looking at it over a period of 8 years, and it is where it is. The Bruno slander is just the craziest I've ever seen before in my life, though, because the man's actually delivering. It's, I can't even understand it. But that's why I thought what Nelson said was so important, because I feel like he just hit the nail on the head so accurately, if you get what I mean. He really, really did. Do you think Man United will pick up the win tonight?
I think so. I think the loss to Istanbul was a wake-up call. I'm not going to say it's because we're at Old Trafford, because let's be honest, Old Trafford hasn't really been a fortress. But it does help that you're not traveling all the way to Turkey. That's a long trip. Hopefully the players are focused. It looks like we have the majority of the squad. Of course, we're missing Pogba and Scott, which I was hoping Scott would start this game because he's really good in these kinds of games, where he just can do the dirty work and keep it simple. So I'm hoping Fred can mimic that. And Fred's a great ball winner and whatnot, but I want to see him just keep it simple. Make sure you get the ball to the right people at the right times. I think we should win comfortably, but it really will depend on how the players go into this and this is the manager. This is where I will come down on Ollie. If we lose this game, I'll put it on Ollie, because it's just the talent is so unbalanced.
And this is where balance is right. You lose a game like tonight and you play poorly and you get your lineup wrong. Of course you focus on Ollie for it. But when it comes to this is where I can differentiate criticizing an individual game and then looking at a situation and saying, you know what? We're just really bad in general. And I think that's where the conversation, it's more the fact that I know getting rid of Ollie, or I believe that getting rid of Ollie isn't going to totally fix the football club. And I'm a human being like everybody else, and I make mistakes. And I was a bit harsh on him a year ago, and I've apologized for that. And like I, addressing the video that this other channel put out today, we all go through these things, and we all sometimes say things that we look back, actually, I don't mean that now, or the world has changed in the last month or so, and whatnot. There were people I know that didn't want us to sign Bruno Fernandes. They felt, he's overhyped. And I saw them change their mind straight away and be like, actually, this geezer is like out of this world. Others have just doubled down. But Cam, as ever, brother, thank you very much for ringing the show, and we'll chat to you again soon, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. Super chat here from Blue_FT says, I like this lineup. It's very sensible, considered the fact that he wants his important teams to rest up and be ready for the feisty match against Tottenham. Obviously referring to the Chelsea lineup that has been announced. I think Chelsea's team is, like, it's beyond capable of beating this side. It really, really is. I don't think there's going to be any problems tonight whatsoever. There'll be no embarrassment at all for Chelsea. They'll get this done. Some member chats here. Let's go through them. Harrison Lang here says, quick question. Do you find it hypocritical that Rance and Aaron call out white pundits for racism due to unfair treatment, yet they both absolutely hate anything British or white to do with Man United? Harrison, no. Listen, I watch Rance's stuff. I had Rance on the show. Rance loves Jack Grealish. As an example to you, loves Jack Grealish as an example. So, no, I don't think it is. They're both positive about Aaron Wan-Bissaka as far as I know. Like, that's what I've seen. I've seen him be very supportive of Raheem Sterling. So I don't think it's overtly hypocritical. I think they do have agendas against particular players, but I don't think it's based on an immutable element of that person when it comes to those two individuals. No. Steve D here says, Bruno and Donny need to play together. Ollie has lost me with his inability to fit our best players into a team together. Brody here says the Bruno slander is coming from all the Pogba fanboys. Why is it always one or the other? Support both players. I agree with you on that. Just support both, enjoy both, have fun with both. That's what I would personally do myself. Terry is finally understanding why Chelsea fans rate Lampard so highly. Listen, I always said Lampard was a talented manager. Listen, this is what sometimes you've got to do. I know you will watch my content on a regular basis, and I respect you all so much for that. Some of our titles and some of our videos are fun. They're banter. They're designed to, be so what I'm looking for, not prerogative, provocative. Because it's a bit of fun. Football is meant to be fun. Some people don't always like that. But if you break down what I've really said about Lampard, very talented manager. I think he's got a future ahead of him. My biggest question was more so whether Chelsea would give him the time to make mistakes, to be successful, and then it to dip, as an example. But there we go. We're going to have one final caller on the show. iTest is with us now. iTest, what you saying, mate?
Yes. So I want to address Martial and Rashford.
Yes.
It's time for someone to address this. So first of all, I want to ask you, do you believe Martial and Rashford are the guys? Do you see them being in a Man United team that wins Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues?
What do you mean by that? When you say, do I see them in this team, in what capacity, mate?
Do you see them being in a United team that wins Premier Leagues and Champions League? Do you believe they're that level?
So you mean one of them starting on the left and one of them starting through the middle as our main players in those positions?
Yes. And we're winning titles and Champions Leagues.
If we had the right board and backing, yes. In the current situation, I don't think it matters whether it's them or somebody else. The answer would be no. So it isn't about those two. They're talented enough. They're skillful enough. They have the ability. They have age on their side. They do need a better technical and tactical manager. There's no doubt about that. We've had that conversation that a Poch or a Nagelsmann would make us better. But until we're structured better as a football club, I don't think we're going to win the league. So it becomes almost an arbitrary or unimportant question about those two as individuals, because until we have the right structure around them, it's absolutely ridiculous to put it around the neck of a Rashford or a Pogba, a Martial or a Harry Maguire. It's a much bigger issue than that.
Okay. So for me, I'm a guy that fell into the Martial and Rashford hype. Yeah. And I always said to myself, they're still young. But now I've started to look into it deeper, and I started to think to myself, are they really the guys? Yeah. And I went back to, and I'll take you back to what Jose Mourinho said. Mm-hmm. Yes, Martial's 22, and yes, Anthony Martial's 24, but they've been playing in the Premier League ever since 2016.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of people say Jose Mourinho destroyed their careers. But if you think about it, he gave them a much bigger chance at United than he gave them a chance, because if you look at the game time they got under Jose Mourinho, how many players that are their age got that much game time in big clubs? Martial was around 22, 23 then. Rashford was in his early 20s, late teens. And look how much game time they got. So did Jose Mourinho really ruin them? Because in my opinion, I believe he gave them a lot of game time, considering the ages.
So on that, let's address that point first before we move on. If we look at Rashford as a standout example, every season he's played since his debut, he is progressive. If you look at his outputs and him as an overall football player, he has got progressively better in terms of what he's contributed and done. I think it was Jose's second season where a lot of people complained. I think this is that without me double checking. I think Rashford kind of hit 2 seasons running where he had the same amount of goals, but Rashford was still the highest or second highest teenager at the time in terms of goal contributions out of the top 4 leagues. So England, Germany, Italy, Spain. So it's all about perspective, and it's all about how are they doing in comparison to their peers. So it's people that play in their position in leagues considered to be of the same sort of level. And during Rashford's progression, he has pretty much been where he needs to be, to a point where at this age, he has more goal contributions for a player in his position than the likes of Ronaldo and Thierry Henry and even Wayne Rooney had at this stage. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Rooney at this stage of his career. That doesn't mean he's better than them. Doesn't mean he has more technical ability than those players, because those 3 are absolute legends of the game. But what I would point out is this. I've had you on the show tell us how bad the managers of this club have been. You know, I sit here and say our managers have been poor and the club isn't run properly. So if we don't think our managers have been good enough and we don't think our club has been run correctly, why are we so harsh on our young players and their development? Because Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial have both had to develop through their young years through a horribly run club who have gone through a conveyor belt of managers who have all failed to do their job properly. So why are we overly harsh on the development of these young individuals? If they would,
You see,
so that's where I defend them. And that's where, for me, the jury is still out as to the level they can get to. Because I'll give you a case in point. You don't think Ollie's good enough. You think he's completely and utterly inept and poor. So if he's that bad at his job, you know, isn't it understandable why Martial and Rashford haven't got to a slightly higher level? Or we now say, because be very careful what you say now. I'm going to back you here. Be very careful what you say. Because if you still think that players should be able to reach their full potential with a bad manager, that means a manager isn't accountable for bad performances and a lack of development, which means why are you moaning about him anyway? So either a manager is highly accountable for how his team plays and is developed, or he's not. Which is it, I test?
Okay, you see, with me, just because one thing is wrong, it doesn't mean I'm going to ignore the other thing and give it a free pass. With Anthony Martial, for example, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a striker. And I've heard in press conferences him talking about what he wants from Anthony Martial, the movement, him breaking a leg to get a goal and stuff like that. We see, just like, for me, we've seen glimpses of that with Anthony Martial. Yeah, Paul Scholes said it himself. Anthony Martial tricked us into believing that he's Paul Scholes tricked us into making us believe he's a striker. Yeah, we've seen a glimpse of him breaking a bone to get a goal in a box, but does he do it consistently enough? For me, he's not a striker. If you look at his threat in the box, he's not very threatening in a box. If you look at his movement, it's not very good. And I believe a lot of people are gonna make the same mistake with Anthony Martial as they did with Jesse Lingard. They're always gonna say he's young, but you're gonna forget that he's been playing in the Premier League since 2016.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
Do you know what? Listen.
Kane,
who's been in this since 2016?
Anthony Martial's been playing in the Premier League since 2016.
and he has, right? And I totally understand and get that. I mean, this season, Anthony Martial hasn't been great, especially in the Premier League, but he still has 5 goal contributions in the 8 games that he's played in. He has 2 goals and 2 assists in the Champions League, 1 assist in the Premier League, okay, as an example. Last season, okay, so let's give him, he's still here this season. He can still turn the season around. Last year, 48 games across all competitions, and he popped up with 35 goal contributions. That's very good. I'm not saying that's world class, but it's very good. And that, by the way, and that's in a team that you say is managed by a PE teacher and dead manager. So what that tells me, if you're right about Ollie, do you think you're right about Ollie?
Yes.
So if you're right about Ollie and he's a dead manager with no tactics and no system, can't break down the small teams, can't create opportunities against the small teams. If Martial created 35 or created and scored 35 goals in that team, that's logically, with a better manager, that level's going to increase because there'll be more opportunities, more space, more chances created. So that tells me that he's got the ability to. And then when you look at Marcus Rashford, who I haven't actually clicked on, I don't quite know the total amount for last season. It's something like in his last 55, 60, in the last 60 games, he has around 50 goal contributions, which means he's working at nearly 100% rate over a 60-odd game period. So he's definitely stepped up. So, and for a player of his age, barring Kylian Mbappe, he's outperforming the vast majority of Europe in that position. So I don't, by the way, and that's for a manager who you said has 0 tactics and coaching. So I get you're not happy with them, but I don't get what more you expect from the club we're at and the manager that we've got, unless you're overplaying your hand when it comes to how bad Ollie is.
Like I said, they've been playing in the Premier League since 2016, and I don't think the progression has been.
But that's okay. On Rashford, that is a factual fallacy. That is intellectually dishonest.
In terms of goals, you're looking in terms of goals.
I'm looking in terms of goal contributions from an attacking player. He's overall football has got better. He creates more chances year on year, scores more goals year on year. For attacking players, that is their bread and their butter. I don't understand. What else? What more? Hang on. Whoa. Stop. What else? What more are you looking for? But quantify it and don't say dribbling more. Doesn't do a lot of dribbles. He's never going to do much more dribbling. Apart from dribbling, what more do you want to see from? What is he doing at such a substandard level in comparison to his peers?
Okay. In a game, I don't believe he gets involved in a game.
No. Stop. That is too arbitrary, too vague. Specifically, what is he not doing that other people that play his position are? Quantify it. How many more times a game are they doing it? And name the people, please.
Like I said.
No. You've got to have an opinion that Rashford isn't doing enough. That statement tells me that other people are doing X, Y, and Z things 10%, 20, 30% more. Name those X, Y, and Z things and the players that are doing it more than him. And go.
No problem. Leroy Sané, for me, he's a perfect example. I like him as a winger.
Yep.
For me, Leroy Sané, across a whole entire game, he does more. He dribbles more. He creates more chances. Rashford might score more goals, but if you take away penalty goals, they score from outfield play. They still score the same amount of goals, while Sané still creates more. He dribbles more per game. He gets involved in build up more than Marcus Rashford.
Okay, so how many? Okay, we mentioned dribbling. We put dribbling aside because we know that isn't one of the things that Rashford does a lot. How many more passing sequences is Sané involved in more per game than Rashford? How many more times in a game is Rashford losing possession in comparison to Sané? And how many more chances per game is Sané creating over Rashford? Tell me now, bro. You've done the work. How much more?
Listen,
how much more?
The numbers, but I guarantee you, if you look at
so you saying you guarantee me means you saying that means you're guessing. You're just throwing a name out. And by the way, Leroy Sané is a highly talented player. Not being as good as Leroy Sané isn't something to be embarrassed about. Now, start naming me the vat of players that are also doing this. You've named one so far. How many others? Age bracket as well. Don't be naming a 28-year-old that's got 6 more years experience. Name me other 21, 22-year-olds in the top 4 leagues. Go.
Like I said earlier,
you don't know. You're chatting fart, bro. You're chatting fart. You've done yourself. You've done yourself, I test. You come on here and you make points and you have nothing to back it up with. He doesn't do enough in games. You
At
can't even
the
really
same-
name what it is. You come out with things like doesn't dribble enough, doesn't need to. We did this when we spoke about Traore. Traore dribbles, I think 3 times as many times as him per game. But in the last 3-year period, hasn't created as many chances, hasn't scored as many goals. So it's like, great. Why would you want Rashford to... Imagine Rashford says, yo, eye test. I'm going to dribble more, but score less. Would you be happy?
Let me
If
explain
Rashford...
why.
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question. If Rashford tripled the amount of times he dribbles per game, tripled the amount of crosses into the box, tripled the amount of passes per game, but scored only 5 goals a season, 6 goals a season like Traore, would that make you happier?
Well, that means the team's scoring more. As an individual,
How do you know?
might
No,
not
but
be
that isn't
scoring as
true.
much.
That isn't true. Because
Yes,
how do you
because
know
if-
that's true? Quantify it. Prove that to me. Prove to
Because-
me. Prove to me what factual evidence do you have that a man Traore dribbling, and by the way, he doesn't pass the ball more than Rashford. Just he dribbling. How is that? Show me how that's creating and scoring more goals for what Wolves
Let
in
me
comparison
explain
to Man
Because, for
United.
example-
How can you
for example-
quantify that?
Let me give you an example.
No,
If you had the
quantify it.
Lukaku in Liverpool, if you had the Lukaku in Liverpool instead of Firmino, Lukaku as an individual might score more goals than Firmino. Yeah, but the team will score more if you have a Firmino. So let me go back to the Rashford thing.
Okay.
If I believe if we have a player like a Leroy Sané or Riyad Mahrez who might dribble more per game, he gets involved in the build up more, he creates more, he crosses more than a Marcus Rashford. The Rashford might get more goals than them, but the team will score more. Yeah,
And maybe,
Because-
and you make a good point there. Maybe they would, but we have a place in the Man United team on the right hand side that we haven't bothered to fill for 8 years. You could put a more creative person in that and still utilize Rashford on that left hand side. And your point about Firmino, would Liverpool score more goals if they had a Lukaku? Well, it almost becomes impossible to prove because part of the reason when Firmino was on fire that Liverpool were scoring so many was because of his movement and everything else. So the chances that were being created were partly to do with his build-up play. So if you did remove him and you put Lukaku there, that says that you're not going to, by the way Liverpool fans explained it, they're not going to create as many chances anyway, meaning there aren't the opportunities for Lukaku to convert. The problem you have here is everything you're giving me is hypothetical. And it's fine to be hypothetical, but you're making sweeping factual statements with hypothetical opinions to back it up with. And that's not how life works. If you want to say, look, I think we could do better without Rashford, I think this type of player would make us a better football team, is fine. But you sort of sitting there and saying Rashford isn't where he needs to be as a 22-year-old because he doesn't dribble as much as Sané, it's too vague. There's no grounding to what you're saying there. And as I said, it's intellectually dishonest. It's another good attempt at coming on and attacking Martial and attacking Rashford, but not today, my friend. Listen, everyone who's tuned into the show, thank you very much as always. iTest, thank you as ever. I really appreciate you coming on. Until next time, people, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all soon. Peace.